Terry, your mic is muted. Your mic. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Empowerment Circle. I'm extremely excited for tonight's episode. And remember, this is where we uplift, inspire, and inform. And tonight, we are going to do that and more. We're going to continue our series on empowerment in the workplace. It was brought to my attention that this is something that is very important and a lot of you want to know more about. So tonight, we're going to give you some very tangible tips that you can start implementing tomorrow as to how you can go from good to great in your workplace. For example, if you are someone that is a store manager and you want to be a district manager and you're like, I can do my boss's job, but you've been in your same position for 3 to 5 years and you're wondering why you are not excelling and progressing. We're going to share with you some tips to help you break through that rut. And also, this is something I'm extremely excited about. We're going to talk about diversity and inclusion in the workplace. We're going to talk about allies. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to look at the post that I sent, but when you think about allyship, is an ally that you know, or are you being an ally that is authentic or representative? So we're going to deep dive into all of that tonight with my special guest that I am so honored to share with you all. So have your pen and paper ready, have your mind open, and just be ready to be uplifted, inspired, and to learn. All right, so without any further ado, please clap your hands and let's give a warm welcome to my guest, Miss Tara Alt. Welcome to the show, Sunshine.
Hello, thank you. Thanks, Ro, for having me.
Oh my God, my absolute pleasure. So please introduce yourself to our audience.
I would love to. So as Rose said, my name is Tara. I'm an associate director for Kraft Heinz in the people and performance function, which is a fancy title for HR. And I've been with Kraft Heinz for about 8 years. 3 of those years I actually spent in the manufacturing environment out in the field all over the country, but now live and work here in downtown Chicago. But personally, I'm a Pennsylvania native, and I'm a wife and a sister and an athlete, and spend some of my time mentoring youth at my church. So those are just a little bit of my roles in life that I play.
You know, I have a soft heart for the youth. And I didn't know you were an athlete. So first, tell me the sport.
Volleyball and basketball. Yeah, but I played volleyball in college.
You got a mean serve?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I haven't been able to play in leagues recently, obviously, with COVID, but I still play when I can now.
I know. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. And I have to admit, I don't know if I asked you or if I told you. Which one did I do?
I said somewhere in between, definitely, I think.
Somewhere in between. But thank you so much. And I know you're probably like, you want me to be on your apartment show? We've just known each other for like 3 months. Like, how do I empower you? Well, I am going to tell you why. And this is something that I start the show with. I always tell our audience how my guests empower me. And this is very important, people out there. This goes around the concept of having an empowerment circle in your workplace. Yes, it's possible. When you think about it, at home, we're wives, we're mothers, we're empowered. But somehow we lose that when we go to work. That empowerment diminishes a little bit. But why is that? And the key thing is that it should not. So Tara and I met through the African American Business Resource Group at Kraft Heinz. She was actually my mentor, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But how does Tara empower me? You may not know this, Tara, but I hit a career plateau, meaning that I started out 15 years ago, go gangbusters, promotion, promotion, promotion. I was moving up the corporate ladder, and I started out at an entry-level position. And then I hit a point to where I was comfortable, I was good, my income was great, I was able to do lots of things. And I got comfortable. I got lackadaisical. I hit a plateau. And I will also say this, I hit a level to where I was good. But the next level, the individuals that were there, they didn't look like me. Does that make sense?
It does.
They were, the US directors, the CEOs, the co-CEOs, and none of them were women, and none of them were Black women. So I kind of, in my mind, thought that where I'm at is where I'm going to be. But with our AAA BRG mentor program, we connected, and you're in that circle. You're in that upper echelon. And what was fabulous is that you were the networker. You exposed me and helped me get into rooms and meet people that I would probably have never met if it wasn't for this mentorship program. So you inspire me and you empower me because you supported me within our organization. You are a part of my growth and development. And then also you empower me and you inspire me because you are truly an authentic ally, and you show that through your actions. And I respect you and I appreciate you for that. And thank you for putting me in those rooms and putting my name in those conversations and in those rooms. So that's how you empower me.
Thank you, Ro.
You're welcome. And then on that topic of the AABRG Business Resource Group and Mentorship Program, I'm curious, as a Caucasian woman working in corporate America, what possessed you, or what, drove you to sign up to be a mentor in an African American business resource group?
Yeah, great question. And for anybody listening in that knows Ro, I feel very blessed to be a part of your empowerment circle. And I feel like it's a two-way street where you empower me just as much. And in certain instances, in a mentor-mentee relationship, I think we go back and forth. And, being able to kind of help connect you across the organization, because I'm in HR and I get to see inside a lot of functions and meet a lot of people, is a great way to just use our company size and resources the way we have. And I just feel so thankful to have been paired with you and to know you.
And I'm like Velcro. I'm sorry, we're stuck together. And then I'll just say this real quick. The mentor program was 6 months. You meet with your mentor once a month. And I was like, no, I want to meet with you every other week. And after the program is over, I'm still going to call you.
Heck yeah. You have this wonderful platform. You wrote a book. So I'm learning so much from you as well. And just so blessed and thankful for that. But the reason I really decided to join the Black Business Resource Group is because I think it's really important for people to show up authentically in the workplace. And it's something where I think in the past, people felt like they had to hide parts of who they were, their culture, or, all the things they brought to the table. And I think it was really important for me to first take a step to educate myself and act and be part of change. And secondly, to champion people and really encourage them, to bring their authentic self to work and to, draw on all of those beautiful pieces of a person and make it work in our company for the better. So, I mean, the main reason is just because I wanted to see change and I wanted to act instead of just
act.
Yes. Yeah, post something that says I'm, an ally or inclusion is important to me. I really wanted to show it.
And that's important, and that's huge. That's why I respect you, and I'm glad that we connected. And 2 points, a message to, the audience out there. There are allies at work. They're not going to walk around with the sticky and say, hey, I'm an ally. But they are there. So what can we do? What do we need to do? Reach out, educate, communicate. We have a couple of hits here. Dominique said that I volunteered you to be on the show. and they said that, and she also said that she loves that Tara, is acting and taking change. And on that comment of Miss Dominique Bolton, if you guys remember, she was a guest a couple of weeks ago, and I met Dominique through Tara. Tara's the one that sent the email. She's like, Ro, you have to meet this person. And she sent the email to Dominique, and that's how we connected. So networking with a purpose. And not only that, I will say intentionally, networking is very, very important, especially if you're looking to move up and progress yourself and excel inside your current organization. You have to network. So that's one tip, write that down. And Tara, do you have any other tips for individuals as far as what they can do tomorrow inside their organization to help excel, themselves?
Yeah, the main point you already touched on is networking. And I think some tip on how to do that, I would suggest to find somebody that you might have an interest in their role, or maybe a similarity with that person, and reach out and see if they're willing to have a conversation. You can throw $5 their way on a Venmo, have a quick coffee chat, and learn a little bit about what they do, and just bridge that and make that connection. And don't be shy to do that. Most people are really willing to help. And I would also say that you should have a conversation with your manager. So whether you're in a large office setting, if you're in a small business, if you're in retail or service industry, it doesn't matter. To make your desires and your goals known, and have that bold conversation, make that manager earn the higher paycheck, right? They owe you, that conversation.
That's what they get paid to do. Listen to you. Even if you may be moaning and groaning, but they get paid the big bucks.
They get paid to manage. And part of that is really advocating for employees, listening to them, and helping them achieve their goals. And if you're thinking to yourself, that's not my manager, go to a different manager, go a step above. Don't stop just because maybe your manager or leader is not willing to breach that. I think it's really important, obviously respectfully, to have a conversation about what it is you'd like to do.
Tara, that is so important. Couple of things, because when we first connected, it was right before or right during the times when we were having our annual appraisals, our MBO. And you gave me so much valuable information and tips on what I can say and what I should say in my appraisal, with my supervisor, to get my point across, but obviously do it in a very respectful way. And I think that's what's important, because I think back at myself, The first 5 years, I was happy to like have a job at Kraft. I'm like, woohoo! I work for a big company. And I probably just sat down and I went to work. I did what I needed to do, and then I went home. But was I being vocal? Was I using my voice? Was I making my presence known? And I wasn't, because I was probably intimidated. This is like different, surreal. I'm in this big boardroom with people that don't look like me. And so I kind of cowered down. But then obviously I grew out of that. So can you relate to that? Was there a moment when you just, well, first off, did you feel like that? And if so, was there a moment when you just like broke out and said, you know what? I'm a woman, hear me roar.
Yes. And I will just set the stage a little bit because this is a good story. So it was my second turn in a manufacturing environment, and I was set to be the HR manager at the site. And I was in a very male dominated environment. If anybody knows about the manufacturing business, it's extremely male dominated. Mm-hmm. And it's also, I was young considered, in that setting. And so here I am walking through the plant on my first day with the factory manager, and one of the employees mistook me as his daughter. And I was like, oh, is this your daughter? So here I am, in a place where
they're like, oh, she got the job because she's the daughter.
I'm like, gosh, I really have a long way to go, right? And I built this wall up in my head of like, I don't have a lot of authority or respect, or I don't feel empowered to be in this role that, I've earned truly. And so
you earned.
And so I had to be reminded of that. And I think actually two people were in my empowerment circle in the moment. And one of them, surprisingly, was a male. And I think in that moment when he empowered me and brought me to the table, I had to remind myself that not every male is against me being here, doesn't want me to be at the table. And I had to check my own bias on that and say, okay, maybe I shouldn't make that immediate assumption that men don't want me there. I'm going to go in with positive intent. And are there some men that are going to, still have that mindset? Yes. But are there men that are trying to be allies and trying to change? Yes. And he was one of them. And so I think that to me, that was a reality check. The second person that empowered me was actually someone in my empowerment circle who worked in the same factory as I did and had the role about 10 years prior. So she had walked in my shoes, and she reminded me that I have a skill set, that I was put in the role for a reason, that I have experiences I can draw on. And by the way, people at the factory who are both male and female and of all types of ethnicities, they need representation at the table, and that's you. And she reminded me that I needed to be that for employees, and use my skills as a woman to sit at the table with all of the men on the leadership team and provide that lens. So that was the moment when I really gained confidence and saw the true need for an empowerment circle. But that was about 5 years ago. And I feel like from there, I really excelled and again, gained that confidence and grew my empowerment circle because I wanted to be a leader in the business.
The key thing, key words, I could be a little biased, but the key words that you kept saying was empowerment circle, empowerment circle, empowerment circle, women empowering women. And that's why, I started this show, because it's just so important. You touched on, how having an empowerment circle progressed you and has excelled you in your career. Is there any other little things that you want to just tell our audience about the power of having that empowerment circle?
Definitely. I think we can get in our own head, especially as women, and I think get in our own way, and sometimes be fearful. And I think what an empowerment circle does is it allows you to talk through maybe some of those fears or doubts that you have, and, see yourself from a different perspective, which I think really helps like us continuously learn and sharpen ourselves. And so like, having that empowerment circle can be a really beautiful thing. And normally when I take my problems or my an issue or a thought I'm having to someone in my empowerment circle, I usually end up kind of shifting the way I'm thinking about it and making a better decision with a better outcome just by bouncing it off somebody else that truly knows, where I've been. So part of my empowerment circle is diverse, right? It's people that are in my field. It's people that align with my religious beliefs. It's people that, are in my family. And then it's all types of different people for different situations that I feel like I can go to and lean on to help me just get out of my own way and get out of my own head.
And you're not alone. That's the thing too. You realize that you're not going, through this life struggle or journey or these, wild ideas that you have in your head alone. There are people there that you choose. That's the key thing, that you choose, that are there unconditionally to uplift and support you. You said something earlier when we were talking, and I want to touch on this a little bit, what I thought was very interesting. And let's just talk about women in the workplace, women in corporate America supporting women. In my heart, I feel that the age of the good old boys days is over. And I can tell you this, one quick story I'll share with the audience. When I first, was progressing up in the organization and I wanted to keep moving, one of my mentors, which was a male, he said, "Oh, you need to learn how to play golf because that's where all the big wigs are. They're playing golf." And I'm like, I get it. I know golf is a conversation, opportunity or a conversational activity. But I felt that, and then Dominique had wrote this down, that imposter syndrome. I felt like I was becoming an imposter. I had to learn how to play golf. That's the only way I'm going to progress within this organization. And I was listening to a male leader. So golf is good. We agree. It's a conversational element, but that is not the end, the beginning and the all to how women can support women and how women can grow with inside an organization. So I don't know if you want to share that comment about women empowering women that you told me earlier.
Yes, there's a quote, and there's a special place in hell reserved for women that don't uplift other women. And it's strong, but it's true. I think we as women need to be thinking about how we can uplift others around us and how we can kind of change the way in which we speak to one another and support one another. That's, even if we as women mess up, it's not calling out the mistake and saying, "Oh, she really like blew it, bit it on that one." It's, hey, you were brave. Like you executed that, you took the step, right? What can you learn from your mistake and how can you make it better? Right. But like, thank you for like stepping out and doing that and for, trying something new. And I think like we can let fear get in the way and other women can help, wipe that fear and turn it into like bravery just by, how we speak to one another and how we show up for one another, especially in moments of failure when we make mistakes. And I think you're right, Ro, that times are changing when it comes to big business, where I've been loving to see, as you were mentioning earlier, just Black women CEOs, right, through Walgreens and different
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Mm-hmm. Bed Bath and Beyond. The definition of a leader is changing, especially with the pandemic. Like, if you can imagine now, things are more flexible from a geographic perspective. You can work from anywhere. You can be flexible with your hours. Those are all very much in favor of supporting women leaders. And I think we should be continuing to take advantage of that as, the boys club mentality starts shifting in a lot of these big businesses, because it doesn't work. And you can't be as successful if you continue to be stuck in that type of mindset.
So true. And I think that women, we need to believe in ourselves more. We were talking about mothers, because here's the thing: when you think about like business and corporations, they're skills, and a lot of times, and the key word in corporations are your tangible skills, your transferable, skills. So, you know, let's say as a mother, they balance checkbooks, right? They're always thinking on the fly. They're innovative, they're creative. So those are tangible skills and just innate properties that we use in corporate America and in business. So that's the thing. And obviously, through education and courses, you can learn business, you can learn Excel, you can learn Microsoft. We can all sit down in front of a computer and take a course on learning, social media and dynamics in a workshop. But there are those tangible skills that we possess as women. And I feel that we don't understand them as much, and we don't exercise them, as much. Would you agree? Do you have a thought on that?
Yes, I think that sometimes we say that they're not applicable to this, or the skill that I gained from being a mother in problem solving and innovation and multitasking. Those transcend roles. So this whole, like, if you're sitting in a role and you're like, oh, fake it till you make it, I don't have the experience. That's not true. You have a lot of experiences from all of the roles that you play as a woman. And it's trying not to say, because I don't have this specific technical experience or experience in sales, you still have plenty of experiences that can transcend and you can draw on for that role. And I think we like to say, oh, like, that's not applicable. Like, that's not a skill that,
But it is.
been here, but it most certainly is.
Yeah.
And I think we just need to be intentional about how we apply those skills that we have and the knowledge we have and the experiences we have to the work that we're doing in whatever role or lens that is. I think sometimes we just like to say, like, I'm faking it. I don't know how to do this. It's like, I truly think in most cases you do. And you just need to think about how to draw on those, talk to somebody in your empowerment circle about how you can apply those skills.
I want to thank you, Tara, because you are truly, to me, have been, like I said, that connector, that networking machine. But more importantly, you demonstrate, diversity and inclusion, in this corporate America, or this corporate work environment that I work in right now. And I really appreciate you for that. Because sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I'll be very candid and raw. I felt like it was just me, myself, and I. Right now on our group, or in our team, I would say I'm the only Black woman. There is a gentleman, the African-American gentleman, that's part of our team, but we're still, it's still a small number, and that number needs to grow. And there are times when I don't feel, somewhat included. But I definitely want to thank you for your authenticity, being an authentic ally, and not an ally of a performance, because woohoo, the company put out a post of George Floyd, so let's jump on and say something. No, you did things before, during, and after, and I definitely respect you about that, for that. Okay, we're wrapping up, and I'm so sad, but I do want you to have the opportunity to share. No rush, but are there, one or two nuggets that you would give to women, that are just kind of like stuck and not feeling important and empowered in their workplace? A tip on what they can do starting tomorrow to make themselves known, or just an inspirational tip?
Definitely. Thanks, Ro. I do think first, being an ally and building intentional relationships I think is something that we need to continue to actively do, and not just like showing up in the big moments, but one-on-one and being consistent and going deeper and doing life with people. That's how you truly become an ally. That's how you continue to move yourself forward out of a stagnant place. And I think like we can all relate to that, even with the pandemic, of like our bodies being more stagnant. If you let your mind and your relationships be stagnant as well, like you deteriorate, right? You need to keep growing and building and connecting with one another. And I think that's what true allyship is. It's not, like you said, a one post that says, you know, Black Lives Matter, or one post that says like during, you know, Gay Pride Month. It's more than that. Exactly. It's doing life with people. It's building intentional relationships, and it's listening and understanding and educating and growing. So I would continue to encourage all you women to do that, and men on the phone is act. And that's one thing that I would just push you to do. Get out of that comfort zone and seek to action. And that's one of my biggest pieces of advice. And I would say if you have the chance to empower another person, then do it. I think a lot will come back to you in a way that you don't expect when you continue to, again, empower others and put focus on others in your life. You'll see that fruit in your own journey. So that would be my encouragement.
Oh, thank you, Tara. Thank you so much. And I want to let you know this. I know that you invested, you know, time and energy into me through the mentorship program. And I respect that and I appreciate that, because we're all busy. We work for a company that has a lot of expectations. And I know that you setting aside that time to give of yourself was huge. And then not only you just setting aside the time to give of yourself, but also putting your name on the line when you put my name out there. So you must think I'm fabulous. No, obviously do. Oh, you're so sweet. But you know, I'm joking, but thank you so much. And I want to let you know, as my mentor, that I take it seriously. I have connected with the individuals that you know, put out there for me to meet, and I am following up with them. And I just continue to just show you the fruits of your labor. And thank you for being an ally, and also just being an example of diversity.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy and blessed to know you, and again, have you as part of my circle as well. I mean, as much as I was able to connect you and we have great chats, I feel like, again, you've invested so much in me and have taught me so much and helping me grow, especially in the area of inclusion and allyship, and honestly, inspirationally, as I feel like you are really taking the steps to bring women together, to provide platforms like this. And that's just inspires me. And I feel very blessed to know you.
Thank you, Sunshine. I have to say bye for now.
Okay.
But we will definitely talk soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Hello, everyone. Okay. Wow. I hope that you guys got some good information. You guys took down some notes. And just a couple of things. Tara and I met as part of a mentorship program with our company. That program was huge, and it actually didn't exist at the level that it is now. It was one of my sorors, and she's also obviously works at Kraft Heinz. Her name is Taylor Walker, and she went out and she started this mentorship program at our company. So I say this, I gained so much from the mentorship program, the connectivity, the knowledge, the diversity, the learning, the connections. I can go on and on. If there are mentorship programs at your place of work, sign up for them. If there are business resource groups, sign up for them. If there is not one within your company and your organization, start one. It's very important, especially now since companies don't have the mixers and the minglers because of COVID. but you still want an opportunity to meet individuals in the company that are, a couple of levels behind you. You want that exposure, like Dominique had talked about a couple of weeks ago. So join a mentorship program, start a mentorship program, and also too, I would say, look at programs outside of your company. I am a part of NEW, that's Network of Executive Women. I know some of you guys are very familiar with Toastmasters, but look at those type of organizations where you can grow and just learn business skills, personal skills, and then use that to help you in your workplace. At the end of the day, don't doubt your own powers, your own strengths. Be bold, be brave, be beautiful. We got this. You got this. And obviously, get an empowerment circle. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have so much more in store for you for the month of March. And I'm just blessed that you're giving me this opportunity to share pieces of my life with you. And I hope that it is helping you in some way. Bye for now.